Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, look, it is very important to be intelligent because a human being have got the superiority over other creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because the human being is quite intelligent and made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now there are certain people, certain children who are born far less intelligent as compared to their peers. What does happen that they fail to go along with the rest of the people of their age in the schools. They they fail to continue, and then in the practical life it becomes very difficult for them. It becomes very difficult for them to lead an independent life. They remain a liability on their parents and the rest of the family members and even on the society. So why? Because they are far less intelligent. It is really important to be an intelligent person. The more intelligent somebody is, the more easier the things will become for that particular person. But my dear friends, I have seen, you might have seen, many of the people know that there were certain people that despite the fact that they were intelligent enough, still they could not lead a good life at all. Still they created many of the problems for themselves. Still they created many of the problems for their parents, for their families, for their people around. So that was a great trouble in their life indeed. why why that despite being an intelligent person they failed to lead a good life? What was the reason? The reason was that they were not emotionally intelligent. They were having a good IQ, but they were not having a good EQ. They were not good at emotional intelligence, and for this reason their intelligence was used in the negative manner instead of being used in the positive manner. So it is very important to be an emotionally intelligent person. It is very important indeed to be an emotionally intelligent person. My dear friends and fellows, today we are going to talk about the emotional intelligence and how important it is. And like every discussion, every talk here on this channel, I have included the opinion of an expert. And because obviously they have conducted a lot of research, and it is very important to seek the benefit from out of their research. And our experts say 11 habits of emotionally intelligent people. 11 habits of emotionally intelligent people that leave a lasting impression. Yes, 11 habits of the emotionally intelligent people that lasting impression. So what is there for me and for you? I think that we can learn to adopt those 11 habits. All the emotionally intelligent people might not be having all those 11 habits, not necessarily. But my dear friends, I think that we should try to create as many of these as many of these and as good of these as we can in ourselves, so that we too could avail the benefits of the emotional intelligence, as the emotional intelligence is extremely important for a good life of anyone else. And anybody and everybody who is devoid of it can never lead a good life at all. And anybody and everybody who is possessing a good amount of emotional intelligence, whether they are having a good IQ or not, believe me or not, they will be leading a very good life indeed. So it is extremely important, my dear friends and fellows. Now let's look upon those 11 habits of the emotionally intelligent, so that we could try to adopt. First of all, the expert says the listener, they listen more than they speak. They listen more than they speak. Yes, because listening is more important than talking. Why? Because by listening we get new information, we get the new knowledge, we get the wisdom. and we try to understand the psyche of the person who is talking. So not only all of these things, rather still there is another thing, that the person who is talking, if at all we are listening to that particular person more and more attentively, I think that person will like to be with us, and will like us and will like to be with us. So it is very, very important that we become a good listener. Here, the first of all, our expert says they listen more than they speak. Number two, they are aware of their own emotions. Yes, being aware of one's own emotions, that's also important. Why, dear friends and fellows, I think that if at all we don't know that which emotion is active with me at the moment, so can we use it in a better way? Can we control it? Can we control it? Or if at all, if it is negative, unfortunately, so can we control, I mean, even if we don't know that what sort of emotion is active in me at the moment, we cannot control it at all, dear friend. I think that we need to know first, and unless and until we know it well, unless and until we diagnose it well, unless and until we identify it first, I think that we cannot either control it, or we cannot further develop it. If at all it is a good one, so then we should be happy, and if at all unfortunately it is a negative one, then we need to control it. But please remember that identification of the emotion is very, very important. So they are aware of their own emotion, or what type of emotions usually remain active in me. So the third, our expert says they show empathy. Yes, we need to put ourselves into the shoes of another person. We need to understand what were the circumstances and the situations of a person who has done this thing or that thing. So I think that developing the empathy in ourselves, and being in the shoes of the other people, this thing is extremely important. Unless and until we do that, I think that uh, we will never be able to be at peace with we ourselves. We can never be at peace with other people. So for both of these reasons, being at peace with other people, it is extremely important to develop the empathy. Now the number four is they embrace change. Yes, they embrace change, dear friends and fellows. Change is permanent, and change is unavoidable. Rather, I shall say, rather, somebody has said that the only thing which is permanent here in this world, that is change. The only thing which is permanent here in this world, that is change. If at all it is that much inevitable, so why not to accept it? Why not to embrace it? Why not to try to take the advantage of it? Obviously every change will might be depriving certain good things from us, but it will be giving us certain other opportunities as well, so we need to understand that what sort of opportunities this situation or these circumstances are offering to us. So by knowing that, we can try to take advantage of the new opportunities. So they embrace change. Number five, our expert says they practice gratitude. So we people are seen criticizing and complaining for most of the time. I think that's not good thing at all. It will not take us toward the right situation. But it also does not mean that we cannot raise voice in our own favor. It does not mean that we cannot suggest somebody something. It does not mean that we can't provide the feedback to anyone else. We can do all of that. But at the same time, we need to develop the gratitude toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards our parents, and toward all the people who have done any and every good thing to us, toward the people who didn't do the bad things to us, and toward the society in general. I think that we need to develop the attitude of the gratitude. We need to develop in ourselves the attitude of gratitude. That is very important. And now the number six, our expert says they value authenticity. Yes, they value authenticity. Mean they value authenticity. They are not actually they don't adopt the fake style. They don't imitate other. They are not seen having the artificial attitude. None of these at all. What does happen is that they themselves. they are genuine, they are authentic, and that is really important, my dear friends and fellows. It does not mean that we cannot learn from other people. Rather, we need to learn more and more and more from other people. But as far our style is concerned, it must be that of our own, and we don't need to adopt the fake style. We don't need to adopt the style of anyone else. Rather, be yourself, but keep learning from other people. Any and every good thing should be learned from other people. So the number seven, according to our expert, they know that they are not perfect. Yes, none of us is perfect. So why to assume that I'm not perfect? Why to assume that I'm perfect? I think it is very good to accept that I am not perfect, and if at all we accept it first of all, then only our learning start. If at all we keep saying that I'm perfect, I think we cannot learn the new things at all. We cannot improve. We cannot rectify the errors and the mistakes found in ourselves. So it is important that we should understand that I'm not perfect, but I need to become excellent. I need to improve myself. I need to I need to improve myself, and I shall keep improving myself with the passage of time. Now, the number eight, according to our expert, is they set healthy boundaries. Yes, setting of the healthy boundaries mean there must be rules, there must be discipline, there must be certain lines. These are my limits. These are your limits. So there are certain limits and there are certain boundaries. There are certain rules. There are certain discipline. So I think without that there will be an absolute chaos, and we don't have to create a chaotic situation at all. Rather, we need to set healthy boundaries. Rather, we need to set healthy boundaries. We make to certain healthy rules. And now the number nine is they keep learning and growing. Yes, they keep learning and growing. Unless and until we keep learning, we cannot keep growing at all. So we must understand it that the more I learn, the more grow I shall, inshallah. The more growth I shall exhibit and show. So learning, extremely important from cradle to grave. We should keep learning. And the tenth is they don't avoid difficult conversations. Yes, some of the conversations are not easy, and if at all they don't avoid the difficult conversations, but they do it in a polite and a sensible, in the right manner. Mean they are not bursting with anger, or they are not very afraid as well. Rather, they talk confidently, they talk sensibly, they talk in a proper manner. They are not afraid of the difficult conversation. So these were the 10 habits of the emotionally intelligent people. I think that we should try to create the habits in ourselves, and if at all we already have certain of these habits, we should try to further consolidate and strengthen it. So that was a very very beneficial thing indeed. I think these all of these 11 habits of the emotionally intelligent people that leave a lasting impression. If at all we want to become emotionally intelligent, if at all we want to leave the lasting impression, we should try to create all of these habits. Thank you.